Eric, state law spells it out. A woman who is breastfeeding a child in a situation like this, she cannot be turned away, but apparently that's what happened in Anacortes. They came to confront the owner of Greek Island's restaurant, but with a crowd of nursing young mothers outside, the business switched to takeout only, then closed early.
He's going to have to answer for it one way or another because it's illegal to kick a woman out for breastfeeding.
The controversy involves 4-day-old baby Rhett and his mom, Ruby Meeden. They planned to meet up with family for dinner at Greek Island's restaurant in Anacortes, but the baby was already hungry.
I made sure to get a good latch before we went in, and then I covered in everything, and we sat facing the walls.
Meeden says the owner seemed busy with phone orders and left them waiting for half an hour before he finally approached their table and told them to get out.
So we were asking him, what's wrong? Is everything okay? And at that point, he said, never come back.
The husband says he was stunned and upset, so they wrote an online review panning the service. The owner responded by posting his own comment.
He had called our kids snot-nosed brats, and that never to come in and breastfeed again, called my wife an animal.
However, state law provides for the right of a mother to breastfeed her child in any place of public resort, accommodation, assemblage, or amusement. Anything less is considered discrimination.
My choice to breastfeed my child in that restaurant was the reason that my entire family was thrown out. It sucked.
Right, and a memorial now is at the scene of where this all happened, right behind me here. Now, this is really disturbing new information coming to light today in what originally was thought to be an accident, now is being charged as intentional.
So this person that hit my husband did it on purpose.
Michelle Moore at home grieving the loss of husband Greg, an avid long-distance jogger hit and killed 2 months ago. Now the startling revelation that investigators believe it was done on purpose to a random stranger going 50 miles an hour. Court documents say the girl told a teenage passenger, "I'm going to scare him, I'm going to bump him," and later said that they were going to try to hit him, but not too hard, but that they got too close and that he went over the car.
When you found out that it was on purpose, at least what they believe, what went through your mind?
It's almost worse now than when I first found out he got hit, because it has shaken my faith in humanity.
And now the added concern that the 15-year-old girl is being charged with second-degree murder in juvenile court.
And the main thing that I want to do is to raise public awareness and have public pressure to get her tried as an adult.
We understand that they're angry with us or frustrated with us, and we're certainly not trying to argue with them. Either way we look at this, if somebody were 17 or 16, they would automatically be tried as an adult across Washington state if they're charged with murder. When you're 15, 14, or 13, that's a different story.
The King County Prosecutor's Office says it intends to ask the judge that if the girl is convicted, that she get the maximum allowable. In juvenile proceedings, that means she would be held until she turns 21, 6 years.
Some business owners and community leaders I've spoken to are really concerned about what's happening in Chinatown-International District. They're now looking into the possibility of hiring private security to protect their neighborhood.
It's a free-for-all right now in Seattle. They know it's no consequences.
Alarming words from Eamon Liu, owner of Oasis Tea Shop in Chinatown-International District. This is surveillance video from July. Someone breaking into his business late at night.
From a span of February to July, I believe it was, we had gotten broken into 5 times at this location. We've also had other vandalisms, obviously constant drug issues.
Community leader Su Mei Ing is worried.
The crime down here is escalating, but the fact of the matter is there just aren't enough officers to cover the city.
At a business at 6th and South Jackson recently, a security alarm went off late at night, and the owner took matters into his own hands.
The police were not arriving, so he came down in his own personal vehicle, caught them in the act, 3 people in the business. He had something like a baseball bat, and when he threatened them with that, they shot at him.
Now, community members are wondering if they need to hire private security to protect 5 square blocks of Chinatown-International District.
For one officer on foot, it would be about $8,500 a month. So that is 7 days a week for 8 hours through those late night hours. If they were in a vehicle, that would be an additional cost, so about $10,000.
But some say that may not be enough. Meanwhile, the police department issued this statement. With the continued losses of officers, we expect that crime will climb, as will the perception that it is worse than the numbers bear out. This is why Chief Diaz has continued to plead to the City Council for additional funding to hire new officers, as well as retain those that remain.
A man who was attacked by a stranger in Seattle's Pioneer Square is telling his story tonight. He was out walking his dogs, and now he has a horrible scar as a reminder of what happened.
He's just the latest victim in what neighbors say is becoming a more violent and aggressive street scene. KOMO's Matt Markovich reports violent crime in Pioneer Square is on pace to beat last year's total.
He slashed. He managed to catch me from my ear all the way down to my mouth.
With the help of painkillers.
So we were literally just here
in Occidental Park, where singers tried to create a serene vibe. Alex describes the attack.
The pit bull just came charging through.
On no leash, attacking his 2 leash dogs as he was walking them, his near daily routine.
And so I managed to grab the collar of the dog, yank it back.
He says the pit bull's owner and the dog's owner's cousin confronted him. He pepper sprayed both of them. The cousin sliced Alex's face with a knife.
I didn't know how badly he'd cut me. But when the blood and everything was squirting out, that's when he kind of backed away.
You've been such a good boy.
A retired veterinarian technician walking her dog saw it, helped Alex's dogs.
And the next thing I know, he's bleeding and cut up, and I'm like, wow.
Police arrived quickly, arrested both men.
Apparently there'd been a shooting nearby as well yesterday, so they were in the vicinity.
Police nearby is an unfortunate sign of the times. Pioneer Square has a history of violence. SPD stats show crime in the square on pace to match last year's breakdown, except in violent crime, where it's expected to exceed last year.
Things are escalating.
The owners of a nearby restaurant say their staff is untrained in dealing with the behaviorally challenged and now an aggressive street crowd.
Upping the aggression and violence makes the staff feel like I'm out of here. Why should I work here? Why should I work in Pioneer Square?
Just as the city makes efforts to bring people back to downtown.
So this is kind of ridiculous because you're trying to attract people to the area.
Like you're doing right now with all the singing.
Exactly. I was like, but yesterday morning I had my face slashed open and this is the second time I've been assaulted in about 5 weeks. It's just not safe to be around you.
Does it have a sense of lawlessness right now?
Yeah, it does. I've never been scared in my life to do anything or go anywhere. And I get scared.
In Seattle, Matt Markovich, KOMO News.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for checking out our YouTube page. I'm meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell from the KOMO Weather Team. You can see more of our videos right here by clicking on the video links for additional news from the Seattle area and Western Washington. Oh, and don't forget to click the subscribe button below so you don't ever miss our YouTube updates.